Hello, 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 and welcome. Happy Saturday. This is Joanne with the Jewel Design, and we are here today, the day after technically summer solstice has begun. Woohoo, welcome to summer. I know for us, it's in the West Coast. Technically, by whatever deal, 7 p.m. last night was woohoo. Beginning of summer solstice, longest day of the year kind of deal. We'll see. It was still dark by 9 o'clock, so, it makes 4th of July a little bit more temperamental later. That's about it. But I felt that this weekend then was the beginning of summer, technically, and I thought, why not start the week off, or end the week, however you want to put it, with a retro summer beach themed journal. Quick and easy digital kit that I created, a digital summer kit that was, older retro images and ladies and beach, all kinds of fun things. And created this a couple seasons ago. Haven't had a chance to work on it, and thought, why not? This would make a great 2 to 3 week journal. If you're going to the beach for a couple weeks, you could journal in your days as you reflect, as you sit on the beach, reflect on moments, fill in the things, fill it full of photos. There's literally 14 of these pages to write on. And if you tack in the blue Eco Dyed, it gives you about 21, 22 pages total to work on. So, or to write in, I should say, to definitely journal or memory keep in. So some of these calmer pages, we'll put pockets and things to put some journal cards in it. See how crafty we can get. But today, we are going to work on the cover. We're going to work on an insert. And if all goes well, maybe we can even get this sewn in, depending on how much inking I decide to do on some of these pages. But I thought I'd bring you along and welcome in summer with, of course, a summer journal kit. Why not? Create a cute little summer vacation book and work our way through it. So let's see. Let's start with a cover today. I hope everyone's doing really well, being a nice Saturday morning. Saturday morning section. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I release this at 10 or whether I release this at 12 Pacific Standard Time. Saturdays are 50-50 for me. So you guys get to watch it sometime during the weekend. So I don't know if it really matters when I release it, but maybe we'll do a 10 o'clock morning. Hopefully you guys see this at 10, 12, 1, depending where you are, right? It may not even be near the time I'm, have it released for you guys. But, I got the last of my coffee and we are good to go. So we're starting off with the first of 2 covers actually we'll be working on this week that are using file folders to help thicken up our cover, but not make the cover so crazy thick that we're not using pressboard, we're not using cardstock, cardboard. I didn't want to make things too tight or too thick to where it made it really hard to bend, because we've seen how that goes. I wanted this one and the next journal we work on to be a little bit more flexible, and I thought using some file folders. I had some damaged, what's the word? Our vintage muted file folders. I had a set that came damaged, but by the time I realized it, I really couldn't ask for money back. So I'm keeping it on the next shipment. So if all of a sudden we are out of these ones, this is where the blue, gray, the green, the gray, and the 3 sort of peach to reddish, whatever color. It's a weird color. But anyway, we have the 6 kits of the muted file folders. So if all of a sudden we're out, give me a few more minutes. I'm waiting for a new set to come in, and hope they come in not damaged. Because if they come in damaged, because who's sending them is not paying attention, I may have to do a different company and a different set of file folders. But I have some damaged ones, so I just cut off the tab, fit it to our paper here. So we have a nice matted feel to this. We are going to do this lovely striped, I always think of beach towel, umbrella striped, and seashell backing. It's actually in the kit itself. We're going to use it as the inside of our journal cover. I've got the blue-gray file folder. I'm using one end. And we're going to put, we're going to put the lighter on the inside, I think, and we're going to go the darker on the outside. And you'll see the cover in a moment. I am just using the speckled blue egg, or speckled egg, which is sort of blue color. Sometimes this will be a little bit of green, but I think it's just the right color for this kit. I think the pages are going to be in this blue. If we're going to ink it at all, we're going to do the blue-gray, because a lot of things are ocean and, sky blue. So we're going to do it here. Now, what I have to decide is if I want to pretty tight mold. It's a very, very thin matting. We're not going to go anything major, but I wanted to go beyond it because I didn't want to try to match it up. But here's our front cover. It is a nice collage photo book. I feel like it's a photo album type collage cover. And it allows us to put either a single focus on here. Maybe there's going to be a journal card that's going to work as a good topper for this that has a lot of the blues. So we'll look through that today to help pop that out and give you a lovely, little bit of lace, a little bit of... Now this one, I think, well, do we go blue? Yeah, and I think we want the blue-green because I want it to sort of mimic, not mimic, but sort of help give that shadowed effect onto the file folder. We're going to do this way. And then I have an old file folder that's a weird shape and bended and whatever, but we're going to use it for the floral dreamer journal. We'll work on that on Monday. We'll definitely be working on the cover for that one and folding in. She had two different size pages, so we're going to go with a smaller size on that one. And so that one we're going to show you how to fold in and stuff like I did with the floral mushroom kit. So yeah, that'll be fun on Monday. We'll do some more cover and signature work on Monday with the other kit. So that'll be the next couple days. So you have to decide that's what you are interested in, how to, not how to, but like what maybe working. So yeah, by doing the blue, it gives it a little bit more of a shadow off the gray. I'm just trying to decide, do I want to, yep, I'm going to do a little bit. This is the oxide, so it takes a little bit of a moment to dry, but it definitely goes on smoother. We get a little bit more shadow, softer type of ink sometimes. And so yeah, there's not too much. You just sort of rub it off a little bit. There's a nice little bit of a sheen to the outside of these file folders, which is nice. Not in a way that makes it slippery, just has that sort of shine to it. And the insides, of course, are lighter, so we're going to see this coloring a little bit better. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you have wonderful summer plans. Girls are already 2 weeks deep into their summer, which means one only has 6 weeks left. She's like, oh my gosh. So we had to go find like an audiobook for the novel she's supposed to be reading. She's like, Mom, I'm never going to make it. I need to follow along. I need to read. I need more help. So many classrooms now, especially the elementary and junior high level. So they pick smaller books, and you know, the teachers read along to the kids. These kids really aren't reading much. And she's like, I have gotten so used to that, Mom. I don't know. And I'm like, well, there's audiobooks out there everywhere. There's YouTube videos of people reading books. Like, we can get this inexpensive, if not free, right? And let's listen along till maybe it gets annoying enough that she'll like, never mind, I'll do it myself. She read the first 77 pages and went, oh my gosh, Mom, it's going to take me forever. And I'm like, well, you don't have forever. You have 2 more weeks to get this book done, and then you have 4 weeks for the next book. She's doing a summer program, so she has to do her advanced English, and so she has to read books. And 2 books, one of her choosing, and one that's where, you know, they read it ahead of time to not waste any time in class, and they go straight into the first book. Because I read a couple novels throughout the year. So in freshman year is, what's the word? It's, what's the category? Oh, I'm losing it. Anyway, it's about self-discovery, and it's, oh, wow, I can't think about it right now. It irritated, you know what, out of my oldest, but, just about, you know, just changes and stages of life and coming of age. There we go. That's the word. I kept thinking youth, and it's not the right word. Coming of age stories. And my oldest read so many articles, she was ready to scream. She's like, I read one more tiny little book about, you know, a little story about coming of age. And oh my gosh, she was going to go insane. And I was like, well, you didn't take an honors class, honey. So the younger one's taking the honors class, so hopefully she will enjoy it a little bit better. She'll be a little more put together. She'll be a little bit more happier about the whole thing. But so I am just trying to center it the best I can. I did try to. I was going to measure it, and I got sidetracked talking to my daughter, so I eyeballed it while we were talking. Apparently, I did really good. I'm very proud of myself here, I see. I did not completely, oops, botch that up. So I'm happy about that. Oh, you never know, right? I am trying to sort of squish this out. As much as I love my glues, they have a tendency of sort of, I know that's why some people have the silicone. My mom has not silicone, but what do you want to call it, like spatula, just sort of spread it out, so maybe you don't get those bumpy lines. But Oh, and I had to wipe down, I could not start my video without it. I had to wipe down all the debris from the glue, the, what's the word, the eraser marks, this, I got a new one, I grabbed a new one, placed a bunch of orders this morning too. I just filled this up, which means I have no more, so I need a new one of these, comes with a tip, that's great. It was cheaper to buy a whole new ink pad from the photo than a bottle. Which I was like, it's cheaper, never mind, I'll just buy a whole, and I dried that one out, so, even filling it, I worry. So I'm like, well, I'll just buy a new pad. I'm okay with that. I'm a good girl. I have the refillers for the oxides, which I did. I refilled my blue one here before we started to make sure I had a nice, good run. I am trying to use our eraser, which is why I have all that stuff. Making sure I don't have too much glue everywhere, right? I don't want too much residue where we get weird shiny spots. Now this one I have to decide if we want, depending on how much room we have, we may put grommets in here so we can just tie the end up with something and not have it interact too much with the topper. Especially if I get a little bit of depth with that topper, we're not going to want to. I don't think there really is a topper bottom. Okay, so as long as make sure I do that. Yeah, so who knows. But anyway, so yeah, I can't find an audio though for the book that she has to read. So far, Amazon wants to charge me as much for the audiobook as we did for the actual book. I'm like, really? So there might be something out there that someone's finally read that book, but out loud, or I don't know. We'll see. I'm like, oh, I don't feel like spending twice, Luckily, my aunt, her great aunt, bought us the books she needed for the summer. I was like, well, it's a supply. I mean, one book is provided. I mean, the book of that you have to read is provided, but it's an older book, and it's old. It's been around. You don't get to keep it. Who knows how bad it's been written in. This way, she could underline all she wanted in her books. My oldest did that this last year. She's like, the last book they had to read, she's like, can you find it inexpensive, Mom? So I can mark it up, I can read it at home, I don't have to worry about leaving a copy. There's a copy that has to stay on campus. Sometimes you get a copy, there's a copy for the whole classroom. My youngest came across that a lot this year. She's like, I can't bring it home and do the work, Mom, there's only one book, or there's only one textbook, or whatever, for the whole class, and everybody has to leave it there, and can't bring it home to work on, and it's just like, oh, yeah. So I thought, well, I don't mind some of these books. Not a bad thing. She wanted to do Little Women. I think she may be regretting that choice. She remembers the movie, so she's hoping that's going to help her out to a point. But she's like, I don't remember it. She goes, but I know it exists. She goes, I'm sort of banking on that. Not banking on it, but hoping, it's going to help me. Because they have to do logs. They have to do, pick symbols and characters and themes. In the last, there's 10, you have to do 10 of them. So you broke the book out into 10 sections. And for every section, she has to do 2 elements and a personalized reflection, right? How do you relate to this? Or how do you think it might relate to you? And oh my gosh. So she's going to do 10 of them. And that's the whole point. It's just not so much reading it. It's, comprehending and understanding it. And yeah. Okay, so I've jibber-jabbered while I'm doing this. I shouldn't be. All right, we're almost 10 3/4. Or a little over 10 3/4, actually. 1, 2, and 3, a little over. But we're not at 11. Oh, and there's no way for me to figure that out. So 10 1/2 would be 11. My ruler. Let me see if I can do this with a ruler. I make my ruler, my clear one. I probably have another one somewhere, but my girls keep up, I wonder if I could do this with centimeters. That would be easier. Sometimes a smaller, even though it's a higher number, it's a smaller number to work with. No, that's 27 1/2 centimeters. So that's something I can work with. Because 13 1/2 gives me 27. And I've got another half I need a quarter mark. So I can sort of see better. I'm like, that's so much more, that's so much easier. Because, yeah, 13 13 is 26. A half makes it 27. And then I need an eighth of a, whatever you want to call it, of a ordeal. Let's do that. Let's go here where I feel like I'm about as lined up as I can get. Hope I am not uneven, but I am scoring this because I do not want to. I want to get this as clean of a section as possible and hope that does not look like it's even at all. That so doesn't look. See, that's almost 14. And that is a little under. So the back, I think, is longer than the front, and that's okay if it is. I mean, it's 1, 2, between the 2 and 3 in the back side, and that is between 3 and 4. So the back might be a smidge longer, and that's okay. That I can handle. Maybe. So this is the only downside to a file folder and the paper, is that it will buckle some. It will catch, which is what you're supposed to, you know. Let's see, before I do this too much. Yeah, I did not do this even at all. There we go. And that's if I cut, that's if I even, what's the word? Oh, I might, well, shoot. Okay, it's not. I didn't do anything straight. Of course I didn't. Why would I have done that? Because I scored it. I may not be able to undo. I may not be able to undo it. Okay. Well, let's, journals are perfectly imperfect. I mean, I can trim the top and bottom, but then we're going to have really close to that and really close to the bottom. I don't want to do that. Oh, darn it. Yeah, and you think it's straight and it really isn't. Oh, there's no fixing that, is there? Except try to score another line and hope, but okay, well, you know what? Yeah, perfectly imperfect. That's what it is. I mean, I did good. I mean, I did half. I just didn't do it straight. And after all of that, because of the paper, it actually sticks out. Isn't that funny? I thought I had made this wider. Now I can go trim all these down. And I hate to do it to a point because, let's see, trim it to match the front page. I was just trying to see how bad. I was going to cut off all the pretty blue that I didn't want to cut off. But as you go, even though I tried to, score this pretty good, you know, you try to go in and you try to fold it really thin and stick it back in here to where everything looks really good. Let's see. I noticed lately, the more we do that, but even then, because it's not perfection, it you know, it shifts in the printer, and then you try to cut evenly, and you try to do this and that. I'm wondering, I did notice lately more and more, I am finding ladies who, you know, they cut their pages down and then they, you know, go and they trim the whole edge of the journal book. But, you know, we sort of do things a certain way where, you know, it's designed to a certain edge or whatever, and we feel really bad cut off any more design work. But I don't know if I'm going to get any more width out of this. It's getting a little bit better. It's not as bad, but it's going to stick out. So we might just put lace and stuff and run with it. Don't want to go too lacy with it. It is a, you know, that's the word. It is for our, that'd be a pretty summer section there. I didn't think about it when I was doing my thing. I was like, ooh, which one do I want for my, no, I still like her for our front cover. She's just absolutely gorgeous. Or not our front cover, our subtitle, or title page. There we go. Title, first page, whatever. All right. Well, that helped a little bit. Okay, I mean, we still have a few, so I just have to decide why we have some pages that really stick out compared to others. So, if I have a few I can cut down, might help a little bit, or I'm just we're gonna roll with it, because, well, perfectly imperfect all the way around, right? And we're just gonna sew it in, and we're just gonna cover it up with lace. Now, I do have this insert. I took one of the lovely collages I found and created, and I went ahead and printed it large, so you can use it sort of in place of a doily. You have a nice set of, I know I had some loose edges here that I did cover the back. I didn't print on the back of this one, when I first did it, not knowing how I was going to use it. So I covered it with coffee dyed paper, or tea dyed paper maybe. I'm not sure, one of them. And, but I noticed as I was cutting around it, trying to cut, there's no fun when you're having to do it for the, like, you cut it once already and you're having to recut it to match everything up. Oh, it was not fun. That's when I was like, huh, trying to cut back around here, and I was like, well, that's not how we started. I do see some spots now that are bugging me. But trying to get in here and get it cleaned up. Trying to go both ways with it so that I can, you know, we don't want to see the brown on one side, and we don't want to see too much white or blue on the other. Only so much you can do, but I wanted to insert this like a doily before we sewed it in. And again, we're going to have to carefully score a spot, and we'll put it in there in the pages and hope for the best. But yes, definitely decorating this and putting some pockets and stuff, and it will make all the difference. All right, so this we will get some ink on the back of this one, just a little bit, and add a little blue to the front. And I'll keep an eye on all the highs and lows and see if I can catch all the weird spots here as we go along that the glue stick doesn't want to do its job. I didn't want it too bumpy, and I didn't want it to wrinkle too much. So I just used the glue stick to get it started. But yeah, it makes it a writing space by using the Eco, coffee dyed, tea dyed backing. It becomes a writing memory spot. You can write like a little bucket list on it, what you want to plan to do on your vacation, what places on both ends. You can sort of, one half the trip, second half the trip, do like a little to-do list, bucket list, wish list. Because on one half, you could write, my places we wish to go, right? And make a little list, or things we wish to do or see. We do some really interesting shaped, usually round to a point, but sometimes we'll get really interesting in our shapes, and we will do these cute summer bucket lists or Christmas lists or whatever in our planners. We'll put them in the monthly section, and they're cute little cutouts of this nature. So, sort of the same thing. I don't know if this will be an exact, because I believe, as long as it is, I don't know if I want to go exactly middle. It goes all the way out here, but it goes all the way out here. So I'm thinking just about here, so that we have a wide spot in the beginning, and we have a fun space to fill out on the back. So I think we're just going to sort of go for it. Try to go as upright as possible. Ha. Right, and let's see, where do I want? I'm going to do it on this crevice here, which you can't see, right here on this edge, so we're not really folding too much in, or maybe right past that spot, actually. So this inner corner is not getting bent funny. Right on the edge of it. I don't want to get caught in the corner every time we open and fold the... If this is my page, it looks pretty upright, I guess, right? Again, it's cardstock with coffee dyed paper, so it's not too thick. But that fold definitely helps you go backwards with it, I guess. Wow. Why is my... it's supposed to go the other way. That's why I was issuing. Oh, I always think it goes the other way. So, now that I've done it, I'm folding it the wrong direction after I scored it. I always forget about that. So now, there we go. Ta-da, there we go. So that was half the problem with the cover, is I was folding it back. So you see this, you flip it over, you have this right, and then when you get to the back side, you see this, and then as you close it over the page, you get to see that on the other side. And that would be why. Well, that would make sense. I got to keep that in mind when I go do the cover then for the next book. Now, the next book, I do have some spots already involved. So that is really tight. Come on. You have the crinkling of the glue. So I was thinking, is that about halfway through the middle-ish, over the blue, so that we're not really, pretty blue. Good to see that. It's an extension of that over there. Nice on this side. I really do like it up against the blue paper. And it's sort of a middle section area without blocking I don't think I want to go against this one because I think that may be more middle. I'm deciding, do I want to go towards the middle of it? Middle, well, not middle. What is that? Well, it's only one off, but I'm trying to decide. That might be too closer to this middle of this. If I do that, it blends sort of in, which is my only worry. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, that's so not middle. That's why I think I was thinking up here because it was more, sorry guys. It was more middle of the page, more middle of the first half. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, okay, I was right the first time. There we go. Never mind. Now, the only downside when we go to sew this in, it's only going to catch, unless I bring it up, it's only going to catch on one section. So if I move it up, I have a chance of it sewing in here and here. If I put it in the middle, it's only going to sew here, which means it's going to teeter a little bit. So I think we will put it up higher, I think. So journal, fun to do, journal. Yeah, let's go up higher with it so we don't, we can catch it in two places. Now, the only thing I have left is this one that is not middle, but it sure seems longer than everything else. And that is bugging me just a little bit, that it is so long. And it's not even with the back, so that may be why. All right, let me, as Gail will say, chat among yourselves really quickly. I have my paper cutter out because I've been doing all kinds of prep work. And, trying to get videos going for you guys this week, so I'm not all by myself. We're not wondering what if. Let's see if that helped a little bit. Yeah, they weren't quite evenly folded, which I never expect things to be perfectly even when we fold them. But didn't make a huge difference. Now they're even, but they didn't really make a big difference. And it's just out there, though. I really feel like it's out there. So I want to keep cutting it. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Here, I thought I had myself a little bit better prepped. But, you never know how the pages are going to sit. You don't know how the signature is going to sit until you start it. And then you're like, oh. All right, yeah, I would love to have a beach vacation this year. Oh, I wish. Lizzie had her first practices this week for color guard, and so they had our rodeo starts next weekend, so we had a parade technically this morning. So while you guys are watching this, I'm off at a city parade, one of the many that she will participate in this year. I cut it. It's still there. It's just nothing we can. Now that one's the long one. I'm wondering if I should go trim these. I didn't want to lose the blue edge of that paper because it is so pretty. But I feel like these two are, because they're in the middle of the book, so I do need to take a good 1/8 of an inch off. Okay, so I'm going to take them together, cross our fingers. Yeah, like if you watch Lorette, Vintage Paper Girl, she has Big Bertha off to the side. Well, I don't have Big Bertha, but there's enough where I don't really want to keep picking it up, and it's heavy enough that I don't want to keep bringing it into the spasm here. But okay, so I just didn't. Now if I see the blue, I might suck it up and deal with it with some lace and stuff. Oh, see, then we're almost there. Oh, perfect. Okay, so only thing left is the blue in the middle, is the second blue, and because the way I did it, it is sticking out a little bit. I wonder if I can fix it a little. Right. Let's see if we can fix this one a little. I think I ended up with it more in the front than in the back. And that's why we're struggling with this one. Well, so we get the ins and outs of creating a signature, right? There we go. Well, the ins and outs of creating a signature. And it is, trial and tribulations. But I am happy where it's finally starting to settle. So get it on the middle. There we go. I'm much happier with that. There's a little bit here, but if I tie it really tight, we're going to be good, guys. Like, there's a little bit of blue here, and that's okay. Maybe I'll put a little lace behind it and make it stick out on purpose if I decide that's what I want to do. Parts of me is like going, well, now it's just down to whether or not, and all this ups and downs, how much inking I want to do. And I don't want to do that on camera with you guys. That wouldn't be a whole lot of fun. So what we can do, though, I do need to ink the pages some if I'm going to ink them at all before. And you can see I'm not, unless there's a low spot, I haven't decided to trim the blue paper, but I do see that that is becoming a potential issue. And so I don't think I want to try to mimic that, because right now it just but covers, but then I'm trying to balance it when I'm working on it, that these are flush with this, and that does stick out a little bit. And since a lot of the blue edges are on top and the sides, I believe I can cut for the most part. I love, eco-dye papers. But the bummer part is that unless you fold them in or out, you don't cut anything, you end up cutting out all the pretty color. So I'll do that before I start. And when I'm inking everything else, I'm going to go in and either trim the bottom or the top, depending what's necessary. So I don't cut off the pretty color that makes it the eco dye that it is. Like here, I can cut, technically I can cut more of the top off than the bottom, I will trim those down so they are flush with everything else before we put them in. So I will do that. I will ink and I will trim to make it, because this has such pretty blue on top. I don't want to cut that off. That has pretty blue on top. But these back two don't really have a lot of blue on top, so I can cut those off. So, all right. So there she is. There's the basic. There's our cover and our things, right? We've got all these pretty pages, 14 of these to write on. You add in the other, like 2, 4, 6, 8 of these. You makes it 22. We have our little seashell doily writing space, great for to-dos or bucket lists for your trip. And then we have some beautiful sandy sea sky pages that we will definitely use for belly bands and pockets to put some stuff in. So before I let you go, because I don't want to make this a super long video, keep it short and sweet, I will tweak the next stage. We will come back and we'll probably decorate the cover for sure together, and we'll do some of the pockets and ephemera on the inside once I get this all sewn in. But let's take a peek real quick at what I have and see what kind of topper this would look good with. And then I know what to go with and how to go about working this, because there is all kinds of ephemera for this. I went berserk when I made these things, which we do have all kinds of lovely pieces from stamps, right? We have stamps and flags, and I love these cards, and these are the things I'm going to want to tuck into things. All the old-fashioned ladies and beach photos, tags, label. We have our tickets. But these are going to, I do have our pockets. So we have definitely a number of corner pockets that are going to be helpful for those pages we were just talking about, right? We'll gusset it. We'll put some double pockets in places. I can stock. We can cut these out and stack these if we want, or make them in two plate, sort of stack them this way and put 2 sets in. And I have another set of corners. So I can either overlap them or we can, put them on 2 separate pages. But we definitely have pockets. I do have some envelopes that we can go small and tuck in if we needed to. This would normally, I'd wrap it around something, but I don't think we have enough pages to do that. So these I have to decide if I'm going to make them. Oh, that's what we're going to add in too. See, I knew there was one more thing. I have a file folder. So this one I need to actually cut, and we need to insert it into another spot. So we're going to do that. So we have another writing space. We got our corners. But, okay, so getting sidetracked. Nothing new, right? We need to find, though I have cute seashells, but I think I'm going to want to help decorate those on the inside or on other covers, or on other journal cards, right? I'm going to want to find, we have seagulls, we have stamps, we have all kinds of things. It's a good size kit. It is in my digital side. If you go to a Jewel Design, down below there's links for see, there's one of my belly bands, so there's that. Now we could either do, I don't think I want to do a tag. I think I want to do a journal card. And I don't know if I have to see none of my journal cards. Wait, please tell me I have vertical. I don't have vertical journal cards. I went all horizontal. So that does not make it easy for a So the only one I have would be to cut the top of this one off, right? And she's right there at the top, I know. And I could make it sized here. And it wouldn't be bad if we went across it, even if I went and slightly, like, use the umbrella to our advantage. And then I could use a number of the seashells and things. So sorry, guys. I didn't even cut me out. I'm going to get back to my mom in a second. We're almost done anyway. I'm surprised she came through. She must have kept calling. Okay. We can seashell and do some stuff on the bottom of that one. So, okay, well, I think we have a plan of attack here. I do have to go figure out what's up. My poor mom was calling. And that's not good if she kept calling. But I don't have a lot of vertical cards. So I did have these. She's on the front, but she's not very big. Oh, yeah, we're going to have to get crafty. All right, well, I will do some figuring it out. I'll do some layering and clustering. I will get back with you guys next week as we get into the basics done. We will then start working on covers and decorating and pockets and things on the inside. And we can have a wonderful time at it. So, talk to you all really, really soon. And I will, yeah, we'll be back soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy summer solstice. Love you all. Bye-bye.